I was able to kill a couple of hours out there as well. Got nice and hot and sweaty, as you can see. Good morning, friends. Another day, another dollar, as they say. It is St. Thomas today, I think. It might be St. Martin. I'm pretty sure it's St. Thomas. But anyway, yeah, one of those ports. And so I stayed up way later with my friends last night than I expected to. And so I'm getting a kind of a later start today. But I'm going to head up to the buffet on board, grab some food, and then head down and explore the port for a little bit. There is a tram thing that takes you up to a top viewing area. I don't know exactly what's up there, but so might do that. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, since I've never been here before, it'll be nice to go down and explore a new place, see what the vibe is like, etc. I'm sure there's food and stuff down there as well, but I figure I already, paid for the food on board the ship, so may as well eat it and, go out there with little to no expectations of what will happen and go from there. So yeah, that's what's up. That's what we're going to do. I'll, of course, take you with me. We'll see what we see. We'll do what we do, and we'll talk soon. Alright, y'all, so that's St. Thomas. I don't really feel like I got a ton of footage because I only stayed in the immediate compound area, the cruise port area. There's tons of stuff to do in St. Martin. You could easily grab a taxi and go downtown. They have the tram that goes up to the top. There's more shops and things up there. There's restaurants. There's just all of it. I see why people love this port. I was able to kill a couple of hours out there as well. Got nice and hot and sweaty, as you can see. This is my first time to this port, so I always like to just see the immediate cruise port area and get a feel for the vibe of, the town or area or whatever. In this case, it's a U.S. territory, so it feels very navigatable. I didn't feel unsafe or anything like that. And I debated, figuring out something else to do a little off the beaten path or whatever, but it's actually a little bit later in the afternoon, and I do have a few hours left, so I could have, but I always get kind of nervous when I'm pushing the clock too much, and so I just decided to come back on board because I was melting like a snow cone in Phoenix, or whatever people say. But anyway, next time I'm in St. Thomas, I'll definitely make more plans. I'll get up earlier, I'll get out there and do and see all the things, but yeah, cool port. I honestly probably should have eaten out there. There were, 3 or 4 restaurants right there immediately as you exit the terminal area, and it was sushi and barbecue and stuff that I would really enjoy, so but I guess I saved money going to the buffet, and I was pleasantly full either way. So yeah, let's go see what we get up to. I'm gonna cool off I got myself a Sprite. I think I showed a picture already, but stopped at the bar on the way up and grabbed a Sprite so I can cool down. And I'm sure we'll get up to some shenanigans later this evening. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll talk soon. So after spending an hour or so cooling down and relaxing, I decided to make my way up to the pool deck. I met up with my friend David that I had met the first night because, as I mentioned before, him and I pretty much hung out the entire cruise. It was really nice hanging out up there and just sort of people watching with him, but after a while I got hungry, and so I did have a burger while I was out there, and that led me out to the walking track, which ultimately led me into the gym. I don't do the gym very often, but I figured on a long sailing like this I might want to get a little bit of exercise in, and I'd say MSC MERAVIGLIA's gym is pretty nicely equipped, and so I did about 30 minutes on the treadmill, spent some time in the sauna, and then made my way back to my room. Alright y'all, so time for evening fun and games. I don't know what that's going to entail. If it's up to me, I won't drink at all. Maybe only have one or two if that's possible for me. But yeah, I plan to take things a lot easier, a lot mellower tonight. Hopefully get to bed a little earlier tonight, so that I'm refreshed and ready to go tomorrow, because I got way too late of a start today and felt like I kind of didn't fully experience the port the way that I wish I would have. So that's what's up. I did already eat. I had a hamburger. We'll see if I end up with late night snacks later or anything, but for now I'm feeling pretty full and good, and kind of parched, but in a non-alcoholic way. So I'm gonna go get like a Sprite or even some water or something. I did go to the gym and experienced, you know, the facilities there. Sat in the sauna for a little bit, which was great. Since I've been drinking, I was able to sweat some of that crud out before I showered. And then, so yeah, so now I'm ready for whatever's next. So let's go see what we see and do what we do, and we'll talk soon. I wandered around the ship a little bit, seeing what was happening in different places, but I did end up back in the Sky Lounge because that became our go-to spot, and that's where they had the LGBTQ mixers and other events like that anyway. And while David and I were sitting there, they had the tropical party out on the pool deck. We considered going out and joining, but we found more enjoyment in just people watching. And we did briefly end up back at the Horizon Bar for a couple of rounds of drinks back there, but I didn't stay long. I was definitely wanting to call it an early night, so I made my way back down to my room. Alright y'all, that's a wrap. Go ahead and end it there. I did get back to my room kind of early, and by that I mean it's 1 a.m. instead of 3. But I am going to order room service, so I will probably be up just as late as I have been the whole time. I also drank less tonight, which is good. My body needed a break. I did have a few, but I paced myself and spaced them out a little bit more than the last few days. And so I'm feeling pretty good about being able to get up tomorrow and, you know, go explore and all that without being in my room until, you know, the middle of the afternoon or whatever. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned for the next installment coming in a day or two. And I want to thank you all so much for traveling with me. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. We'll talk soon, and y'all have a good night.